Hey guys, Chidera here. In this video, we'll be running through how to quickly and efficiently configure the Azure AD Connect client to synchronize your on-prem Active Directory with Azure AD in a single forest AD environment. Now, installing and configuring Azure AD Connect will allow you to enable features like password hash sync, password write back, seamless single sign-on, and much more. This is also one of the required steps for setting up a hybrid Azure AD infrastructure for your organization. All reference documentation and resources will be linked in the resources field of this video. Firstly, let's review some of the prerequisites that we need to verify are in place before proceeding with the installation and configuration of the Azure AD Connect client. Assuming you want to enable password write-back, the domain controllers in your environment must be on Windows Server 2008 R2 or newer, and the domain controller used by Azure AD must be writable. Additionally, on-premises forests or domains that use dots in their NetBIOS names are not supported. That covers the basis for most users, but I encourage you to review the remaining prerequisites linked in the description. As Azure AD is a component of Microsoft Azure, you will need an Azure AD tenant first and foremost. If you do not already have an Azure AD tenant, you can acquire one for free by going to the URL you see on the screen. At this point, you should apply your custom domain to Azure AD. This step is not required, but it will simplify the Azure AD sign-in configuration step we will come across a bit later. For this demo, we will not be adding a custom domain. From here, I recommend preparing your on-prem environment by running the IdFix Tool, which will help to identify errors that could cause problems with Azure AD Sync, linked in the description. Within your preferred web browser, navigate to the Microsoft 365 Admin Center by heading to admin.microsoft.com and sign in with your administrative account. Follow the steps shown on the screen. Now that we've downloaded the Azure AD Connect tool, we will run it and walk through the Express installation settings. Make sure you complete this process on the server that you want to serve as your sync server. There are a lot of steps here, so to make following along easier, we've listed them in the description as well. You will be entering the username and password of a global admin account that exists in your Azure AD. Next, we need to supply the username and password for an enterprise admin account. Pay close attention to the term enterprise admin, as this is often mistaken with a domain admin. If you encounter an error with your provider credentials, verify that the account you are using is a member of the enterprise administrators group in your on-prem AD. As you can see, we chose to not start synchronization, and we still need to update our users' UPN names to match with whatever custom domain we end up adding to Azure AD in the future. With the installation of Azure AD Connect client completed, the first full synchronization of users, groups, and contacts between our on-prem Active Directory and Azure AD has begun. That concludes our video tutorial on how to quickly and efficiently configure the Azure AD Connect client to synchronize your on-prem Active Directory with Azure AD in a single forest AD environment. After completing the initial setup of the Azure AD Connect client, I highly recommend checking out the full list of features that you can enable linked in the description.